Good morning, everyone. My name is Jen, and today we are going to be working on a very sort of standard vinyasa flow practice. It's going to be about an hour long. I feel like in this flow there's just the right amount of heat and rest because this morning I want to create a little heat in the body. Where I'm at, it's rainy. It's a little bit chilly, so let's create some heat from the inside out. If it's not rainy and chilly where you're at, heat from the inside out will still be a good thing, right? A little sweat's good for everybody. A couple things to remember in this practice: if at any point you need to take a break, child's pose is a wonderful place to go. You can have a seat on your mat. You can even just come into down dog if you need to take a break. Vinyasa through, I will call plank, chaturanga, up dog, and down dog. Now you have options. You can just hold your plank and then go straight to down dog as I call everything else. A lot of times in class I'll call what I consider to be the gentle variation of a vinyasa through, which is plank, drop to your knees, send your hips to your heels, roll through, cobra, down dog. Okay? You may have a different variation that you like to take, and that's completely fine also. The point is, I want you to listen to your body. I want you to do what feels good to you, but also do what makes you feel strong and powerful, because that is what I want for today's class to embody: strength and power. So let's start in a child's pose. Two options for your child's pose. Knees together if you want a little more rounding in the back. Knees apart, big toes touching if you want to get into the hips a little more. That's my favorite variation to take. But we're all different. We're all made differently, right? Reach your fingertips forward as far as you can. Sink down. Let your shoulders soften. Let your forehead sink to the mat. And begin to tap into your breath. Thinking about nothing else but your breath. Noticing how your belly presses against your thighs as it fills up. Noticing the space that's created when you exhale, when you empty. Inhale, full. Exhale, empty. One more time, inhale, full. Exhale, empty. Begin to tap into a breath that serves you best this morning. A couple of options are your equal breath, your samavriti. You can count that breath in, you can count that breath out, trying to find some equanimity in the breath. That's a great breath because it forces me, anyway, to focus only on the breath and the count, and none of the other mind chatter has a chance to creep in. Another option is your Ujjayi breath, your victorious breath. That's an inhale through the nose. A powerful exhale through the nose. Some people describe it as sounding like the ocean. It almost has a low growl. It rolls across the throat. If there's a different breath that you choose, take it. With every exhale, find a little more softness in the face, in the hips, in the shoulders. You may begin to feel sensations here. Welcome them. Do not judge them. Feel them and let them pass. One more breath here. Big inhale. Long exhale. Begin to make your way into a downward facing dog. Lift the head up. Maybe slide the hands in just a little bit. Spread the hands wide. Press into all 10 fingertips. Lift the hips up. Curl the toes under. Send the hips high. When you get into your first downward facing dog, maybe you pedal it out a little bit. Stretch out the backs of the legs. Maybe you roll the head around. Defining what feels good in your body. This is your chance to explore. Creating a little more space. Settle into your dog. I want you to take your armpits, roll them towards your cheeks. Press the mat away. If you're pressing all the way into the heel of your hand, I want you to create a little space. Press more with your fingertips. Bend your knees as much as you need to. I want you to allow your heels to disappear behind your ankles. Strong downward facing dog. Take a big inhale. Long open mouth exhale. Take your gaze to the top of the mat. Slowly and mindfully make your way up to a ragdoll pose. Feet are going to land right behind the ribs. Bend your knees as much as you need to, a whole lot. In fact, options, grab opposite elbows, let the head hang. Maybe let the fingertips sway on the floor. Take what you need here. Maybe you hold still. Maybe you kind of bob yourself up and down. Maybe you rock from side to side. Lots of options. Allow the weight of your hands to very gently pull your elbows down. If you have hold of your elbows, release. Grounding through your feet. Slowly roll yourself up. Press your belly button to the ceiling. Inhaling arms up. I love this part. It just feels very unfolding, blooming, victorious. Bring your hands down to your heart. Close your eyes. Let's set an intention for our practice today. As I came into my first downward facing dog, I began to think about all of the heavy things that I carry around, and I imagined them rolling right off my back onto the top of my mat. That is the intention I offer up. That is the challenge that I put forth today. Whatever heavy thing you're holding on to, whatever's weighing you down, drop it at the top of your mat. Leave it there. If you are very attached to it, it's there waiting for you. When we are done with this practice, you can take it. But I hope that you leave a little bit. That is my intention for myself and for you. Let's leave a little bit of the heaviness behind today. Deeply inhale. Exhale it out. Open your eyes. Take a look down at your feet. I want you to make your second toes point straight ahead. That may feel funny. You may feel your knees kind of strengthen. You may feel your quads sort of, your big meaties I like to call them, sort of engage and fire up. Bring your hands to your hips. Very gently press your pointer fingers into your hip bones right there at the top of your pelvis. Take your thumbs very gently, curl the pelvis under just a little bit. Maybe you felt your core fire up. Maybe you didn't. It's okay. It did. It activated, I promise, whether you felt it or not. Inhale your arms up. I want you to take your shoulders all the way up to your ears. Now I want you to drop the shoulders down. Keep reaching with the fingertips. So much strength here in our mountain pose. So strong. Take a big inhale through the fingertips. Exhale, forward fold, let the body now release all of that sort of always tension that you may have felt in that pose. It's not really tense, it's just a lot of muscles activating, right? I want you to let it all soften, let it all release. Slide the hands up to your legs for a halfway lift. Options, hands on the shins. Hands can come up to the thighs. Hands can even be on the hips. If you have your fingertips on the ground, that is awesome, right? Just make sure you keep this long Neutral spine. Remember that your neck is an extension of your spine, so we don't want our neck doing this, and we don't want our neck doing this. It's an extension of your spine. Roll your shoulders back. Press your hands into the legs. See if you can feel your spine lengthen even a little bit more. Take a big inhale. Exhale, drop the hands down, plank pose. You're going to do this first one slow, obviously. In your plank, press into all 10 fingertips. Squeeze your quads up into your femur bone. Press through your heels. Maybe you imagine a long line of energy from the crown of your head all the way to your heels. Take a breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, tip forward, chaturanga. Squeeze the elbows into the ribcage. Long line of energy. Curl the flip the feet. Press into the big toes. Roll the shoulders back and down. Upward facing dog. Use your core, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Now remember, that is the vinyasa that I'm going to call today. That is not the vinyasa you have to do. Find your breath. Take your gaze to the top of the mat. Make your way there to a halfway lift. When you get to your halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Press into your feet, ground through your feet. Rise up with strength. Inhale up. Hands come heart center. Inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Continuing on their side eights. Halfway lift. Find length in your spine. Plant your hands. Step back to your plank. From your plank, tip forward, chaturanga. Squeeze the elbows in. Keep the belly button stapled to the spine. Upward facing dog. Flip the feet. Roll the shoulders back and down. Downward facing dog. Use your core. Take a breath. One more, just like that. Maybe we flow one breath to one movement. Look in between your hands. Make your way to the top of your mat for a halfway lift. Inhale. Exhale, bend the knees forward. Inhale, ground through the feet, rise. Hands come to the heart. One breath to one movement. Inhale up. Exhale, fold, we mount. Halfway lift, inhale. Plant the hands, vinyasa through, plank. Tip forward, chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Breathe. Let's take 5 deep breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. 4. 3. 2. 1. Take your gaze to the top of the mat. Make your way up. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Ground through the feet. Rise up. Inhale. Hands come to heart center. We're going to move them to sun salutation V. I'm going to do the first one slow. Inhale up. Sink into a chair. Now in your chair, before I even get there, I'm going to tell you something about your feet. You can take your feet hip-width distance apart. You may have to go even wider. You may be able to bring your big toes to touch. I have no, it doesn't matter to me, okay, how you put your feet. Sink into your chair. What I do care about is having your tail tucked a little bit, not so tucked that you're doing this, right? We just don't want this to be happening, right? Tuck your tail a little bit. We're going for not a completely straight spine, maybe just a teeny bit of a curve, not overarched, not overly rounded. So again, big toes can be touching, feet can be hip-width distance, they can be even wider. What I really want to see is your knees tracking over your feet, so we're not out, we're not in, tracking right, maybe over that second toe. Hands can be at the heart, hands can be on the hips, arms can be up. You have so many options here. We're going to hold it for 3, 2, 1, forward fold. Very nice. Halfway lift. Plant your hands, step back to your plank. Tip forward, chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Now let me give you one word of advice in your chaturanga. Your upward facing dog. If you feel yourself rolling on your pinky toe, which I did forever, I want you to kind of redistribute the weight back towards the midline. Inhale the right leg up.
Hold it here. Bend that left knee as much as you need to. Soften the shoulders. Right hip stays in line with the left. This is not a hip opener, okay? So if you're here, bring that right leg back down.
It may look more like an L. You may not have your legs swept way to the sky. You don't have to. Bring the right foot through. It's going to plant in between the hands. Right knee stays bent. Left foot is stepping up and over, and it's going to point at 10 o'clock. If you were in the middle of the clock, your right foot would be at 12. Your left foot would be at 10. Ground through your feet. Rise up with strength. Whew. So many words. Sink a little deeper into your right knee if you can. Bring your left hip forward. Now I want you to engage that left leg. Imagine pressing your left quad into your left hamstring. Press into both hips. Squeeze your belly in and up and deepen in that knee. So much going on here. One more breath. Plant the hands, vinyasa. Whatever version you choose.
Left leg lifts and held up. Hold it here. Soften in that right knee. Press through the left heel. Imagine a line of energy from crown of the head through the left heel. One more breath.
Bring the foot through. Warrior one. Left foot's going at 12. Right foot's going to step up and over a little bit. It's going to point to 2 o'clock. Ground through the feet. Rise with strength.
When you get here, let's do a little work to set ourselves up. Right hip comes forward. Bend in the left knee. Press the right quad into the right hamstring. Belly button squeezes in and up. Soft shoulders. Maybe sink a little deeper into that left knee if you can. We want to keep the left knee on top of the ankle or behind, not in front, right? One more breath. Plant the hands, vinyasa.
I've come to love Warrior One. It's a very, very, very strong pose. A lot of work that goes on in that pose.
Take your gaze to the top of your mat. Step up, halfway lift.
Forward fold. Bend the knees, sink the hips, sweep the arms up. Chair pose. We came into it a little differently that time, so if you need to take a moment to set up, set up. Hold it here for 3, 2. On one, straighten the legs, bring the hands to heart center, close the eyes. Take a moment to regroup. Again, Sun B is a very, very powerful sequence. I feel like in Sun A we start to build a little heat. In Sun B we add strength to that heat, and it can be very igniting in the body. So let's just take a moment. Let your heart slow down. If your heart rate got up, mine did. Take a deep inhale. Long audible exhale. Open your eyes, inhale the arms up. Chair pose. Think we're going to do that one more time. We're going to take it one breath to one movement. Soften the shoulders, reach the fingertips. Tuck your toe just a little bit, just a teeny bit until you feel your core start to do the thing it does. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Plant the hands, step back to your plank. Vinyasa through chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog.
Right leg lifts, inhale.
Exhale, bring the foot through Warrior One. Right foot points at 12, left foot points at 10. Rise up with strength. Hold it here for one breath. Inhale. Exhale, hands down, vinyasa.
Left leg lifts.
Bring the foot through, left foot at 12, right foot at 2. Rise up. Take a breath, inhale. Exhale, bring it down. Vinyasa. Down dog.
Make your way to the top of your mat, halfway lift.
Forward fold.
bend the knees, sink the hips, sweep the arms up, chair pose. Hold it here for 3, 2, 1. Straighten the legs, bring the hands to the heart. Beautiful. Inhale up. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Plank the hands, step back to your plank. Find your full plank. Drop to your knees. Send the hips back to the heels. We're not going into a child's pose. We're going to flip those legs around. We're going to move on to 3 boats, 3 different ways. So we're going to kind of build our boat up. So you have the options to stay with the first, move to the second, or the third, right? By the time we get to the third. When we get to the third, if you want to stay at 1, totally cool. You're still working very hard. Walk your feet in. For this first one, we're going to leave feet completely flat on the ground. Bring your hands behind your legs. Start to lean back until you feel your core start to work. Send your heart forward. Squeeze your belly up to your spine. Now I want you to keep wide fingertips on the back of your legs. We're not holding on for dear life. Make sure you're not gripping the mat with your toes. Keep it light. We want our core to work. We don't want our hands to work. We don't want our feet to work. Hold this here for 3. Keep your spine as long as you can. 2, 1. Give yourself a little hug. Drape your belly over your legs. So that was a lot of work, right? I take that boat all the time in class because it completely 100% ensures that my core is working and not my quads, not my hands, not my feet. And I feel like that's what you really have to watch for in class when we start to lift our legs. Our quads, our big meaties here, they take over for the core because they're stronger, they're bigger. The bigger, stronger muscle is going to always want to take over for the weaker muscle. We work our quads in all kinds of poses, right? Just in those chair pose. Quads work so hard. We want our core to work. So moving on into our boat, I want you to really watch for what's working, right? If you feel something else working harder than your belly, I want you to back off. Boat number 2. We're going to set it up just the way we set it boat number 1. Feet on the ground, fingertips on the backs of the legs. Start to roll the shoulders back and down. Lean back until you feel your core start to engage. Send the heart forward. Squeeze the leg up to the spine. Now I want you to munch your tippy toes. I want you to take your arms down by your side. Now you may have rounded your back. I want you to send your heart back forward. Squeeze the belly button in. Hold it for 3, 2, 1. Feet flat. Give yourself a hug. Now when you got there, if you felt something working harder than your belly, go back to the first version with feet flat and fingertips, or feet flat and arms out. You can play with it. Let's set up for boat number 3. Hands behind. Walk your feet in a little bit. Lean back. Feel your core do its thing. Squeeze the belly in. Remember to keep breathing here. Come onto your tippy toes. Feet can stay flat. Tippy toes. Arms long now. I'm going to extend the arms up over my head. Now you can absolutely lift your legs here if that's in your practice. I just want you to make sure that your belly keeps working. We're here for 3, 2, 1. Release. Give yourself a hug. Who knew that not lifting everything up to the sky, legs up, arms up, everything up could be so hard, right? Take a deep breath here. Flip the feet around. Come into a tabletop position and then make your way into your downward facing dog. Lift your right leg to the sky. Bring your right foot through. The right foot's going to plant in between the hands. Left foot is going to pivot so that it lands parallel edge to the back of the mat. The entire left foot is on the mat. The outside of the left foot almost lines up with the back of the mat. It's probably pointing a little bit towards the long side of the mat. That's where we want it. Bring the arms up to the arms, warrior 2. Maybe widen, maybe shorten. Now, right knee's bent. Hips are open. Send that right knee open. Make sure you can see a little bit of your right big toe, if not your whole right big toe. Left foot is either, should not be completely parallel, but maybe it looks parallel. That's just what I'm using. Parallel to the back of the mat. Maybe the toes are pointing a little bit towards the middle of the mat, but not like in our Warrior One. Warrior One, our feet were sort of at a 45. Warrior Two are more at a 65, right? Tee the arms. Send the left shoulder open. Squeeze the belly button in up. Sink a little deeper into that right knee. Holding here for one more breath. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, to the side angle. Right forearm's come to right thigh. Left arm is sweeping up and out for a long line of energy from the outside of the left foot all the way through the left fingertips. Let's watch for dumping into this hip. I want you to think about pressing your right rib into your left rib. Without losing your lunge, reverse your warrior. Your left hand's going to the left leg, right arm sweeping up and back. Triangle pose, straighten the right leg. Right hand is going to slide down the right leg. Left arm is going up. Now, I don't have a block handy, which is why I put my right hand on my right leg. If we had a block, you could put your hand on a block. If you can go all the way down, that's great. Make sure we don't close up. We want to leave our heart open in our triangle pose. So you can use your leg. You can use a block. You can use the floor. We stay open. Keep both feet grounded. One more breath. Rise up. Use your strength. Hands to the hips. Turn both feet so that the toes face the long side of the mat. You may need to shorten your stance a little bit. Hands on the hips. Take a big inhale. On your exhale, fold. Don't stick your tail way out. I want you to hinge at your hips. Slowly fold down. Bring your hands to the floor. Now here, you'll know if you need to widen or shorten. Watch for your knees locking up. Keep softness in the knees. Take your hands wherever you organically feel like your hands should go. This is a time to explore your body and what it can do. Three breaths. Two. One. On your inhale, bring yourself to a flat back. Bring your hands to your hips. Rise up. Nice. Turn your right toes to face the top of the mat. Left foot's going to stay exactly where it is. Bend the knee. Warrior Two. Find all the strength of your Warrior Two. Cartwheel your hands down. Right foot meets left foot. Vinyasa 3. Downward facing dog. Left leg lifts. Bring the foot through. Left foot in between the hands. Right foot is going parallel to the back of the mat. Rise up, Warrior Two again. See your arms soften through your shoulders, reach. Now, I want you to make sure that you're pressing into all sides of that right foot, not rolling onto the outside, not the inside, all sides. Sink deeply. Open your right shoulder. Can you see your left big toe? Reach forward, extended side angle. Left arm down, right arm's going to sweep up and over for a long line of energy. Bring the right fingertips together. Feel that line from the outside of the right foot all the way through the right fingertips. Press your left rib into your right rib. Sink a little deeper. Reverse your warrior. Don't lose your lunge. Right hand down, left arm reaches up and back. Now this is a side stretch, not a back bend. Remember that. Triangle pose. Straighten the left leg. Slide the left arm down the left leg. Take the right arm up. Keep your left hand on your leg. Use the block or take it down. If you take it down, remember not to close up. If you feel yourself close up or reopen. If you're using your hand on the leg or block, don't put all of your weight on it. Keep it light. Rise up. Turn your left toes to face the long side of the mat and then backwards. This time, let's take a forward fold with chest expansion. So, Options, you can grab opposite elbows, roll the shoulders back, open the heart. Actually, I'm gonna turn around. Or you can interlace your hands behind your back. I'm gonna let you see what I'm doing. Open the heart. Whichever one you do, take a big inhale. Exhale, fold down, soften your knees. Let your head hang heavy. Let gravity do its thing. Now my arms did not go very far because I have very muscly shoulders. Some of you may be able to get your arms all the way down, and that's fine. Feel that stretch across your biceps, your shoulders. Hold it for one more breath. Release the bind in the hands. Let the hands fall down. Let the shoulders soften and melt. Halfway lift. Hands to the hips. Rise up. Warrior two. Right toes forward, up, and backwards. Left toes forward. Sink into your warrior two. Warrior two with the left knee bent. Cartwheel the hands down. Vinyasa through. We're going to meet in downward facing dog. Right leg lifts. Bring the right foot to the outside of the right hand. Make space for the body. So I have to step my right hand over. Bring the left knee down. Lizard lunge. Now, again, I don't have a block handy, but if I had a block, I would be able to put my hands on my block and rise up a little bit. Alternately, if you need to bring that left knee in a lot, and maybe your lizard's more right here, that's okay. Settle into your lizard. Let your hips sink. I want you to watch for this right knee splaying out, rolling onto the outside of the right foot. Keep it close to the body. If you're a little more flexible in your hips, you have a little more, you can even sink down onto your forearms. Close your eyes here. I want you to try to drop out of the thinking mind and just breathe. These are the sorts of poses I like to say really get the chatter going. I call these the abandoned ship poses. I'm on fire poses. Lots and lots of mind chatter here. Just listen to your breath. Drop out of that thinking mind. One more breath. Big inhale. Long exhale. Curl your left toes under. Lift the left knee up. We're going to turn this into a side plank. Our left hand's going to stay down. I want you to take the right foot to meet the left foot. You have options. You can stagger your feet. You can stack your feet, or you can make a kickstand with that left knee. Take the right arm to the hip or up to the sky. Wherever you are, I want you to press the left hip into the right hip. I want you to stack your right shoulder on top of your left shoulder. Tuck your tail. Hold it for 3. For 2. On 1, come to your plank. Vinyasa through, or go straight to downward facing dog. Left leg lifts, inhale it up. Exhale, lizard lunge. Make some space for that left foot. Walk the left hand over. Sink down into that right knee. Remember, you have options. If you have a block, use a block. My wrists are starting to hurt a little bit, so I'm going to come onto my fist here. Bring that right knee in a little bit if you need to. Close your eyes and drop out of the thinking mind. Listen to your breath. Watch it enter and exit the body. Back to the palms of your hands. Pull your right toes under, lift the right knee up. You're going back into that side plank, right hand down. Left foot meets right foot. Remember, you can stack stagger or kickstand. Left hand can go to the hip or rise up. Press the right hip into the left. Stack the left shoulder on top of the right. Tuck the tail. Hold it here for 3, for 2, for 1. Plank pose. Now, from our plank pose, I want you to bring your feet to the outsides of your hands. You can step them up or you can hop them up. Malasana, yogi squat. Elbows in between the knees. Hands at the heart. Now your yogi squat can look like this. Your yogi squat might look like this. Toes are turned out. Doesn't matter where it is as long as you feel it in the hips. Send your heart forward. Close your eyes. Focus on your heart. Drop out of the thinking mind. One more breath, big inhale. Long exhale. Open your eyes. Hands come to the mat. Send the hips up. Heel toe the feet in. Forward fold. Ground to the feet. Rise up and come up. Hands come to the heart. Find your feet where you want them for your chair pose. Inhale. Sink into your chair. Hands are coming to heart center. We're going to take a twisted chair. Left elbow is going to right knee. Other options, left hand, right knee. Right hand to the hip. Or sink deeper. Left elbow, right knee. Wherever you go, watch for that left hip sticking out. Bring it back. Use that left elbow pressing into that right knee to deepen. Or left hand pressing into that right knee to deepen. Keep your spine long. Forward fold. Separate your feet to maybe about shoulder width distance apart. Peace fingers around big toes or take a ragdoll. Let yourself hang. Halfway lift. Whatever you have hold of, even if you have hold of your elbows, halfway lift. Forward fold. If you have your big toes, release. If you have your elbows, release. Rise up and high. Hands to the heart. Find your chair pose feet. Sink into your chair, hands at heart center. Twist to the left. Right elbow, left knee, or right hand, left knee. Wherever you go, if that right hip stuck out, if some months stick out, bring it back in. Use the elbow or the hand, press it into the left knee to deepen the twist. Lengthen your spine. Big inhale. Exhale, fold. Rise up and help. Hands come to heart center. Crow pose. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of options for your crow pose. Of course, you can just go into your Malasana if you want to hang out in your Malasana. If you want to try crow today, we're going to bend the knees. We're going to leave the knees together, unlike in our Malasana. Come onto your tippy toes. You know what? I would say this is your first step. Maybe you just hang out right here and work on getting deep, right? Maybe you plant your hands on the mat. Maybe you send the hips back up a little bit. You're still high on your tippy toes. I actually have to separate your feet a little bit. Maybe you stay right here and work on tipping forward, pressing into the fingertips. Just like in our down dog and everything else, we're going to grip them out of their fingertips, right? Maybe work on this. Maybe you work on making contact with the backs of the arms anywhere above the elbows and tip it forward. Just playing with the weight distribution here, right? Maybe you work on this. This is really hard, actually. Maybe you have your crow pose. You tip forward. You lift 1 foot. You lift 2 feet. And you hang out in your crow. Keep pressing fingers into the mat. You're gonna hold it for 3, for 2, for 1. Plant the feet, child's pose. Now, I forgot to tell you, where does your gaze go in your crow pose? Right to the top of the mat, maybe a little bit farther. For this child's pose, let's bring our knees together and place our arms down by our side, letting our shoulders rest. And remember, you are not defined by how well you stand on your hands, how well you do a crow pose. You're not defined by how well you stand on one foot. You're not defined by how low you can go in your lizard lunge. You showed up on your mat today, and that's all that matters. Make your way to down facing dog. Look in between your hands, step forward, halfway lift, forward fold. Rise up, inhale, up. Bring your hands to your heart center, sink into your chair, eagle pose. In your eagle, right knee is going to cross over the left knee. We're going to squeeze everything into midline. Now, you can use your right big toe as a kickstand. Maybe you wrap, if you wrap, I gotta change position. If you wrap, and this happens, bring it back, squeeze everything into midline. Hands can stay at heart center. You can tee your arms or take eagle arms. Right arm's going to cross under the left. Maybe backs of the hands meet. Maybe palms of the hands meet. Maybe you take a bear hug. I see this all the time. Send your elbows forward, fingertips up. Do not pull your shoulders out of their sockets. Hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stay on that left foot. Rise up for a 1 leg, mountain arms up. Right knee lifts in line with the hip. Take it back. Warrior 3. Send that right leg back. Hands can come to heart center. You can tee your arms if you need to. That right hip's going to stay down. Press through the heel. Line of energy from crown of the head to right heel. 3, 2, 1. Come back to your 1 leg mountain. Tree pose. Make a kickstand. Slide it up. Help it up. Maybe half lotus is in your practice. Press your left leg into your right foot. Redistribute the weight. Don't grip the mat with just your left big toe. Because if you want to grow your branches, go for it. We're here for 3, for 2, for 1. Right leg comes down. Very nice. This time I'm going to turn this way so you can see me from this side. Inhale the arms up. Sink into your chair. Eagle on the left. Left knee crosses over right. Again, maybe you make the kickstand. Maybe you wrap. Maybe you just squeeze everything in. If your, left hip came forward, bring it back. Hands can stay at heart center. You can tee your arms or take eagle arms. Left arm under the right. Elbows forward, fingertips up. I say keep your shoulders in their sockets. So if you did this, bring it all back. Hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1 leg mountain. Lift the arms up. Left knee's gonna lift. Warrior 3. Take the left leg back slowly, intentionally. Left hip's gonna come down to meet the right. Squeeze the belly up. You can leave your hands at heart center, or you can tee your arms. There's other arm options if those are in your practice. 3, 2, 1. 1 leg mountain. Tree pose. Kickstand. Shin. Help it up, or half lotus if that's in your practice. Press your right leg into your left foot. Hands at heart center, or grow your branches for 3, 2, 1. Release. Very nice. Come back to the top of your mat. Inhale the arms up. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Plant your hands, step back to your plank. Drop to your knees. We're gonna bring the right knee to the right wrist, right ankle to the left wrist, slide the left leg back, pigeon pose. Now, it does not matter to me if this right shin is parallel to the top of the mat. I want you to be able to bring your left hip down, your right tail down. I want you to soften all of this onto the mat. So if your heel needs to come back towards midline to make that happen, that's fine. Let's take a big inhale. Exhale, sink and fold. Take what you need here. Now, if pigeon pose just is not working out for you, if your right hip is way up, slide a block under there or bolster. If your left hip is way up, maybe you need to take a figure four on your back. Scan the body for tension. With every exhale, think about melting your left hip and your left ribs down. Breathe into your right hip. Breathe out through the left side. In through the right. Out through the left. And we'll just for one more breath. Come back to the palms of your hands. Come back into your tabletop position. When you get there, do what you need to do to work that right hip out. Maybe you need to extend the right leg. Maybe you need to make some circles. I've seen all kinds of stuff. Take what you need. Maybe back in a tabletop position. Pigeon on the left. Bring your left knee to your left wrist. Left ankle to your right wrist. Slide that right knee back. Again, find a place for that left shin to go so that you can relax into the right and left side of your body. Take a big inhale. Exhale, melt down. Again, if your left side, left butt cheek is way up, we're going to slide something there. If your right hip is way up, come onto your back and take a figure four. Remember, your left shin does not have to be parallel to the top of the mat. I want you to be able to relax into your pigeon. Drop out of the thinking mind. Breathe in to the left. Exhale through the right. Melt the right hip, the right rib. Soften through the right knee. One more breath, big inhale. Long exhale. Walk the hands up. Come into your tabletop position. Work that left leg out. Take what you need. I just like to extend my leg long. When you're ready, come back into your tabletop position. Take your right foot back, take your left foot back, find a plank pose. From your plank, tip forward, lower all the way down to the mat. I want you to leave your hands exactly where they are. Curl the toes under, press into the tops of the feet. Roll the shoulders back and down, lift the heart up. Hands can stay on the mat, or maybe you take light fingertips for a baby cobra. Hold it here and breathe. Feel how the belly, the ribs, the chest feels up against the mat. Big inhale. Exhale, release. Drop the cheek down, arms down by the side. Let your shoulders melt. Let your knees melt. Back bend number 2, locust pose. Bring the chin back towards the top of the mat, facing the top of the mat. I want you to lift the chest up, roll the shoulder blades together, lift the arms up, press the fingertips towards the back of the mat. Maybe you lift your arms so much you feel your triceps engage. You can stay right here, or you can lift the legs up, lift the arms and the legs. Breathe. Hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Other cheek on the mat. Soften the knees, soften the shoulders. Bring the chin back to center, bend the knees. Reach around, grab the ankles. Lift the chest, roll the shoulder blades together. Maybe you bring your knees in just a teeny bit if they splayed way out. We're going to take a big inhale. On your exhale, lift the quads up, lift the chest, lift the ribs off the mat. Hold it here for 5, 4, don't forget to breathe. 3, lift a little higher. 2, 1, release. Very slowly. Come into a tabletop position. Super slow. We don't want to jerk the spine back and forth. Hold it here. Have a seat on the hips. Flip the legs around. We're going to roll down to the mat to finish up our last couple back bends. Roll it down to the mat. Walk your feet in. Take your arms down by your side. I want you to tuck your tail so that your lower back presses into the mat. I want you to squeeze your belly button to your spine. Take an inhale. On your exhale, I want you to press into your feet and lift the hips up, all while tucking the tail, all while pressing the belly in. Now I want you to roll into your shoulder blades just a little bit. Keep tucking the tail, keep pressing the belly in. Feel it in your lower back, bridge pose. Hold it here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very slowly lower down. Supine Baddha Konasana. Walk the knees together. Now I want you to let the knees open up. Soles of the feet touch. Take your hands wherever you want to. You can place them on your belly. One hand on your belly, one hand on your heart. You can tee your arms. You can cactus your arms. Let your knees become heavy. Let your back just naturally arch. Arch without working, right? We're not forcing it into a back bend. We are just letting it do its thing and sink and melt. Bring your knees together. Bring your knees into your chest. Make your way to a stack position. So you can roll to the right side or the left side, or you can rock and roll on your spine a couple of times and make your way up. Legs long. Soften your knees. Inhale your arms up, soft knees. Exhale, fold, drape the belly over the quads. Now, you can grab your feet. If you do, don't force it, all right? You can also just slide your hands behind your shins and let yourself melt. Take the variation of the fold that feels good, the one that doesn't feel like so much work, the one that lets your back soften and release. Wherever your hands are, I want you to inhale halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold a little deeper. to your arms. Roll yourself down to the mat. When you get there, bring your knees into your armpits for a happy baby. You can grab the backs of your legs. You can put peace fingers around the big toes. You can grab the outsides of the feet. Whatever you do, I want you to press the legs or your feet into your hands. Don't force the legs down. I want you to send your tail back towards the mat. I want you to press your shoulder blades into the mat. If you want to rock, do it very slowly, very mindfully, so that we don't lose the hip stretch in our happy baby. Rocking while still maintaining the pose. Back to center. Release the left leg long. We're going to keep the right knee squeezed into the chest. Ground the left side of the body. Take an inhale. On your exhale, twist. Let the right knee fall to the left side of the body. I want you to stack the right hip on top of the left. Now I want you to adjust your shoulders to find comfort into your right arm. Find comfort in the shoulders. Don't force the right shoulder down. Don't force the right arm down. If you're forcing, you're not twisting, right? I want you to stack your hips and concentrate more on the twist than what your shoulders do. Bring the right knee back to center, squeeze it in. Extend the right leg long. Left knee's coming in. Take an inhale. Exhale, send the left knee to the right. Again, stack the hips first. Now adjust your shoulders. Now to your left arm. And don't force a thing here. If your left knee is not on the mat, on the floor, that's okay. Mine never is. We don't force. We just let ourselves twist. Bring your left knee back to center. Bring your right knee in to meet your left. Bring your forehead up to your knees. Create yourself into this tight little ball. Maybe you grab your feet. Maybe you wrap your arms around your legs. Take a big inhale. Exhale, release into Shavasana. Take your arms away from the body. Let your legs part, let your feet flop open. Find your Shavasana today. When you get into your Shavasana, begin to focus on your breath again. Watching it enter, watching it exit. Enter and exit. In and out. Take a deep inhale. Long, audible exhale. Let the heaviness go. Again, inhale. Long, audible exhale. Let it go. One last time, and on this inhale, we're going to hold it. So fill up, and then fill up a little more, and fill up a little more. Take a deep inhale. Hold it for 5, 4, 3, sip a little more air in, 2, even more until you feel like you can burst. Let it all go.
Relax. Notice how heavy your shoulder blades, your spine, and your back fell into the mat. Notice the release of your lower back. Notice how the collarbones open, your shoulders roll back, and your arms became heavy and melted. Notice your wrists sinking and melting. Bring awareness to your hands. Notice how heavy they feel. Notice your fingers, the space in between your fingers. Notice the palms of your hands, resting. Notice your legs. Notice how loose they feel. Your inner thighs soften. The tops of your legs soften. Your kneecaps soften. Your shins soften. The entire back side of your leg and melting and releasing. Ankles release. Your heels, your outer arches are so heavy. Inner arches relax. Tops and bottom of the feet relax. Your toes become soft. The space in between your toes becomes soft. Legs are resting. Bring the gaze back to the belly. Bring awareness to the space below the belly button, above the belly button, all around the belly button, the entire lower part of your abdomen. Notice it sinking and resting. You notice the belly itself rising and falling easily. Not attempting to control the breath, just breathing. You feel the ribs part and expand. You feel the ribs come back together and empty and sink. You feel the lungs fill up and deflate. You notice the beating of your heart. A tangible sign of light, of strength, of joy, of life. Bring awareness to your face. Bring awareness to your eyes. Are you squeezing your eyes closed? Soften. Bring awareness to the space around your eyes, your cheeks, your cheekbones, your eyebrows, the bridge of your nose. Is there tension living in those spaces? Relax, smooth the bridge of the nose. Let the cheekbones fall. Smooth the forehead. When the upper portion of your face relaxes, you suddenly notice how your jaw falls heavy, relaxing. You notice the corners of your lips falling heavy, relaxing. Bring the focus to your teeth and your tongue. If your tongue is stuck to the roof of your mouth, allow it to fall. Allow your teeth to part. Bring awareness to the outline of your face. Let it relax. Let your entire face relax. Let your ears slide off the side of your head. Let the back of your head sink heavy into the floor. Let that space where your spine and your skull meet soften. The work is done. You are resting. From the crown of the head to the tips of the toes, you're resting. Drop out of the thinking mind, let go and rest. Begin to bring awareness back to your breath. Deepening your inhales, elongating your exhales. Begin to allow the thumb and the fingers to rub against one another. Begin to allow the eyes to flare open. We open and close them a few times. Begin to wiggle the toes. When you are ready, take a big full body stretch. Waking yourself up. Begin to make your way to an easy seated position with your hands at heart center and your eyes closed. Let's take one last breath together as a community of strong yogis. Take a deep inhale. Long exhale. I hope that you feel lighter. I hope that whatever you dropped at the top of your mat at the beginning of this class, you can leave there. You don't need it. Thank you for guiding me today. And thank you for letting me guide you. We are always one. Always. Slide your thumbs up to your third eye, that place in between your brow. I see you and I honor you. I honor all parts of you. Until we meet again. Namaste, my friends. Thank you.